There's a lot of crypto coins that I think are going to go insane over the next bull run. Now, the bigger question would be, when is this bull run really going to take full effect and how long will it last? But the fact that many of the coins, which we are getting into right now, the fact those will do amazing, I think is almost set. It's almost certain. Now, I have a curated list of coins that I think are almost always worth buying, and today I'll be showcasing one of those coins, and it is called HBAR. So maybe you've seen the token around, maybe you've not, but over the past month it's up roughly 20%, going from 17 cents to about 21 right now. It was a bit higher just last night. But really, in the grand scheme of things, let me just say it like this, it hasn't done that much yet of a move this season, this cycle. Yes, the price went from 5 cents to what, 35 cents or so in this little time span. It's about, let's say, a 7 or so X. But that was the full utility run where many coins like XRP also went absolutely insane. But wait. There's something that makes HBAR a little bit of a better contender, in my opinion, than some coins like XRP or maybe even XLM, and that is the part that it went down so significantly from that high point, from 35 cents to roughly 14 cents, that I think it's potentially right now in a better spot because it's recovered less than most of the other coins. So let's say, for example, XRP went to $3.40 right here, went to $1.60, so about, let's call it half the value, and then right now recovered to $2.65, whereas with HBAR, again, we just basically take it with at 1/10 of the value. Really, if it were to go from $3.50, or in this case 35 cents here, all the way down to 14 cents, that's the same decline as XRP saw. But where XRP went back to $2.60, something like that, HBAR still here is sitting at the roughly 20 cent mark. So still, I would say a 30% or so gain is in place just to get back to XRP's level. It's just for comparison's sake, I'm just putting it out there that the recovery here has been less than some of our other popular tokens, but in general, HBAR is just one of those coins that I actively continue to buy over time, and I'll show you guys exactly what my strategy is going to be, and I'll also explain a bit more about why, how I'm buying, all that. So anyway, I've got here in front of us, as you can see most likely, a Hedera HBAR bot. Now, what is it doing? Well, as you can see, I am longing HBAR right now with 3x leverage. I put about $1,500 into this bot, so it's trading with about $4,500. It is up 15% or so, or $250 in just the last few weeks. I just opened this a few weeks ago, like a little bit over 2 weeks ago, with the intention in mind of keeping this open for an extremely long amount of time, as what it's going to do is just basically, as you can see in the graph here on the right, every single time the price comes down lower, is going to buy HBAR all the way until a lower bound of like 4 cents. Even if it goes to 4 cents, I just want it to buy, right? I do not want this bot to stop anytime soon because I do not know what type of vibe we're in. I just wanted to keep buying. I potentially might make another HBAR bot or just change the lower bound upwards a bit because I'm thinking perhaps putting this price range at 4 cents is a bit too low from the perspective that what is the probability of HBAR going to 4 cents this cycle again, right? We've probably seen the lowest of the lows. This was just done because I wanted people to be able to copy my strategy and not really have to worry too much about it. That was the idea. But right now I'm thinking perhaps you can actually change this more towards like the 11 cent mark or so, mostly because what is going to change is it's going to buy more aggressively as the price goes down a little bit. Actually, 11 cents is here. Oh, sorry. There we go. 11 cents would be right there. So again, what this does is it's going to buy more aggressively at these higher prices, but also increase our liquidation by just a little bit, because obviously it's going to have a slightly higher average price. But in the midst, I'm thinking, yeah, this might actually be a very wise thing to do. Anyway, we'll get to that later. Let me first explain what we've got over here. So what this bot is doing is every single the price goes down lower, it starts to buy, and that's what you see is very different than a traditional just long on HBAR. Because normally, let's say you start at right now, we grab ourselves the price of 20 cents. If the price goes to 10 cents and then back to 20 cents, nothing really changed, right? But if my goals for HBAR are huge, like up by a lot, I think the price is gonna go insane, but I do not know what it's gonna do in the meantime. What I want to do is to make sure that in the meantime, before it goes from my point to, for example, a 10x level, that is going to buy and sell as much as possible just so I take advantage of every single dip there is. And HBAR is extremely volatile, so we can definitely make use of the situation. But more importantly, I just want to have a lot of money in this coin. In this case here, we've not added that much yet because the price went up so much when we did. We said, though, if it goes down significantly, I said if it goes down like 50%, I'll put a lot more money into this. but the price has only gone up since then, so that's a bit sad. But even if I were to enter right now, I could just enter with, for example, half of what I would want to put into my position, and then add it later if the price turned against us. But obviously, it will still keep buying as the price goes down as well. But the point is, if we quickly go and open up a bot just to show you real quick, if we go to Futures Grid here, which is the bot that I'm going for, and I type in HBAR, here we go. If I were to set a price range right now, for example, from 11 cents, I want to buy to about, let's just say, 90 cents. I want to buy from that to there. I put, let's say, as an example, I put 500 grids, just the maximum amount that's available. If we were to put $1,000 in right now, for example, just again to show you, to prove a point, I press create, it's going to buy immediately about 85% of my position, which is why, theoretically speaking, it is still better to get yourself a lower entry price. Even though it's going to buy lower, it'll buy most of it right now. And again, the rest is going to average in with, but so on the short term, it might not be amazing. Over a longer term, it does not matter that much. It'll even itself out. But that is why I think it's sometimes not a stupid idea to get in right now with a part, and then if the price comes down significantly, we get in with the additional part. If the price goes up though, you'll just make a lot of money on the money that you put in, but it's mostly just a preventative measure for in case the price goes against you, so it's just a lot harder to lose. Because again, ultimately, the strategies I've talked about on this channel, they're strategies that have a very high win percentage. You almost always win and make money. You almost never lose. It's hard to lose. But there are different strategies that would make you more profit, but again, they have a risk of failure, a very high risk. Let's just say, all the strategies I've talked about here have a very small % chance of failure, and that failure percentage mostly comes from the idea that we're trying to speed up the money-making process by using leverage. And so that way we might have to add some margin to not get liquidated. That's where the risk is at if you just see a 50% or 60% drop of all the cryptos in a day. That is basically your risk of failure. If every single crypto drops by 50 or 60%, you might be screwed. In this case here, we are safe if the price drops 45% in a day. But if I put some more money in, I could be safe. It's just a matter of, hey, are you going to be alert that day to change prices? Because if you are alert, you can always save yourself, but you understand, if it happens over a 2-day period, you're almost always fine as well. It's just, if the price starts going down right now, you're not at your computer, it goes down 50% in a day, that's basically our risk. But for any other scenario, we're in a pretty juicy spot. Now, I've talked before about where I think HBAR is going to go, but I think it's more important to note here that we think the price is going to go up over time. We could just open a long position at 20 cents right now, let's say, and end it, for example, at a few dollars a coin over time. But since we do not know if it will happen in 1 month, 6 months, 9 months, and if we'll go to 10 cents in the meantime, and we do not want to play the manual game of adding every single time it goes down lower. It's just a lot of work, a lot of management. But that's why I've done these bots. Again, if you want to join, I'll leave a link down below to my HBAR bot, which you can just copy along. First, use this link to sign up to Payonix, it's the exchange I'm using. Then you can claim yourself a bonus with the second link, and then there'll be a link here to follow the HBAR bot somewhere in the description down below. Once you click it, it'll basically just press go to site. It'll just ask, hey, with how much money do you want to copy it? And that's literally it. And it'll basically just use the settings I've got. But you can also make your own bots for yourself if that's something you'd want to do, and just insert every single parameter you want. Like, how much do you want to buy? What's the price range you're going to buy at, basically, or at which point do you want to actually basically buy, really. But in this case here, we basically are taking advantage of HBAR's volatility, which is pretty crazy. We go from 35 cents to 14 cents. If I just opened along at 35 cents, I'd be crying in that time. But I'll prove an example here. This XRP long I've got, this was about $350,000 we put in. It was at minus $100,000 before, and right now it's basically back to even. Let's just say right back to even, right? But this took like a few weeks or a few months. I don't know exactly. If I'd put that money, and that's why I'm telling people this right now, not financial advice, but these are my thoughts. If I'd put that into the bot, let me quickly find it. I've got here $250,000 in this XRP bot, right? Let me quickly show you. Here we go. I've got $250,000 riding on this. If I'd put it into the bot, the $250,000 into the bot, instead of in just a straight long. In the meantime here, it would have made so much by just buying and selling that if we were to just go, oh, I just realized I'm stuck, that if we go from the same price, let's say for XRP, that it would be, if we went from $2.11 to $1.60 to $2.11, whereas on Blowfin here, I'm just at the exact same amount, I'd just be back and even. If we go from 255 to 0 to 255, right now I'm back to even. In this case here, I would have probably made, $40,000 or something like that in the meantime. And that is why with HBAR as well, my strategy now is going to be, and so I need to rotate a significant sum of money to these bots, but I'll probably do that over the next few days. I have so many bots to open. There are so many currencies I'm crazy bullish on. But this is basically for in case I would have an HBAR position, that I want to put some USDT into, which I do, but I have different trades open as well. That HBAR I think is actually one of the better opportunities to go for these bots with. But again, well, the logic being there, right? I've explained it all right here. It's going to take advantage of that volatility. If the price keeps coming down hard, it actually buys. Whereas, with a normal long, it would not do it that much. But the whole point here being, if you think these assets will go up in price over time, you're fine to do it with this strategy. And I think HBAR is going to go absolutely insane. I wanted to say right now, I wanted to make a video saying, hey guys, I'm again thinking of buying a lot of this freaking coin, but now I'm realizing, it might actually be wiser for me to open with just bigger bots. Just because, again, Bitcoin just got rejected, if it starts falling down more, we want to take advantage of those opportunities. And I just noticed with XRP, I would have been up so much more if I did it that way. Yeah. That's the whole video here. I wanted to say HBAR is looking freaking juicy right now. It's in a better spot than it's been at for weeks, right? It seems like the excitement is just back in the market, but in case the market does turn against us, this might be one of the better strategies to kind of save yourself in the meantime. Then again, beautiful HBAR right now. Beautiful. And I think we'll make a lot of money on this one, but again, just my thoughts, not financial advice. And for right now, I'd say that is about it. Here's a little broader overview of all the bots I'm running right now. I'm also doing a $10K to $1 million challenge where we started with $10,000. We right now are at $14,539. We started this yesterday or the day before, so that's going pretty well. I will do another $10,000 to $1 million challenge using Bitcoin instead of XRP, so that is coming up. But yeah, here are some of the bots and how they've been doing. Pretty well, if you ask me. I think we're up $50,000 in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Definitely not too bad, but I think HBAR is also going to be one of my best contenders at the end of the season. I just have to open some bigger positions, but if you want to follow whatever I'm doing, check it out. Link is down below, and that's about it for right now. But damn, I'm bullish on this coin right now.